All right, now that we've had our opening statements, okay, now we move on to what's called the case in chief, which is the actual case itself. Again, prosecution goes first. Prosecution will call a witness that they think is important first, and they'll also want to wrap up with an important witness last. Keep that first last rule in your mind as you're doing it, all right? And the prosecution is going to call their first witness. When they call their first witness, what you're going to want to keep in mind is a funnel, okay? Direct examination occurs first by whoever calls the witness. In this case, it was the prosecution. They get to do direct examination. Direct examination is done with open-ended questioning, like who, what, where, when, why, and how. This is why you have to actually prepare your witnesses, because they have to know what you're going to be asking, all right? So who, what, where, when, why, and how. There has to be open-ended questions on direct. If they're not open-ended, there can be an objection that there's the leading of the witness. We're going to talk a little bit about objections later, but to not ask an open-ended question on direct is an absolutely objectionable thing to do. We want the witness to tell the story, not the lawyer. And if you're leading them this way, this is how you lead a witness. Were you there? Yes or no. Did you go there? It's going to be yes or no. Were you, are you, did you, have you, could you, should you, would you? Anything that ends that's going to lead to a yes or no answer, it's a leading question and it's objectionable on direct. Think of it this way. When direct questioning is done in direct, you start with the widest end of the funnel. And then each level we're going to go down, each time we refine it a little more, the funnel is going to get smaller. The only thing you can do on cross, which is the part that the defendant gets to do next, after the prosecution has gone with their direct, the defense will go through their cross. On cross, you can ask questions like, are you, did you, could you, should you, would you? In fact, you better. If you don't ask leading questions on cross, then you're really kind of a dumb lawyer, because you're allowed to ask leading questions on cross, and you should. Your cross-examination, by the way, this is a cross-examination of a witness you did not call, so you should make sure to keep in mind you're not going to win your case with this cross-examination. Don't ask a lot of questions. Make it a 3 to 5 question cross-examination. Get in, get out. This isn't your guy, and their guy's not going to help you. But now the questions you ask on cross can only be subjects that were brought up on direct. This is our funnel. It's going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. Okay? So we start out with the broadest we've got out here, and it's whatever subject the prosecution brings up. That's the thing that you can ask about on cross. Now, we can have redirect if the judge allows it. Redirect is asking questions again in the direct fashion, who, what, where, when, why, and how. Okay, those are non-objectionable, but they're only going to be about things that were asked on cross. Subject matter that was asked on cross, all right? And then we can have a recross. Recross would include leading questions again. Again, it's okay to ask open-ended questions on a cross-examination, but I wouldn't. It's bad lawyering. It's not objectionable, unlike leading questions on direct, which are objectionable. All right, you can ask leading questions. You can ask open-ended questions on cross or recross, but you shouldn't do it.